Hello, everyone. Welcome to Four Lads Friday Night Live podcast. You caught me there just sending a text message. I didn't know it was starting so quickly. I'll need to do better. What do we have tonight? Nico Raskin. Well, let's talk about that for the 800th time. Russell Martin, WhatsApp's gone mental, press conference chat, and I've got a full squad here. Everybody, Calvin is awake. He's made the podcast, mate. How are you?
All good, just back from my travels, just back from Ibiza, so sounding a wee bit Sean Dyche, but we'll get there in the end. But I've
At
missed
least you're
loads.
awake, mate.
Oh well, it's just only woke up at 5 o'clock.
For those of you that missed it, Calvin was asleep last time we went live on a Friday night and missed the podcast. So it's good to have him on. Andrew Stewart is with us as well, as is editor Andrew. Gentlemen, how are we this evening? You well?
Pretty good. Happy to be back on. Again, just I would hoped it would be better circumstances with, a happy-go-lucky podcast where we discuss how good Rangers are, the team, cohesion, the chemistry within the squad. But no, we're still discussing the Civil War. So yeah, let's crack on.
I'm doing great. I think the plan should be tonight that we just talk about Calvin and Andrew's holidays, because I think we'll have a much better time. As fun as it will be, football's back and Rangers are here to really cheer us up this weekend.
Yeah, at least we've got an abundance of hair tonight on the podcast, not from me, but from everybody else. They've also got beards as well, which is just stealing it from people like me, in my opinion. But let's get into it. It was, of course, press conference day, and yeah, inevitably we missed. We got no real squad update. We got no real injury update. We got no real anything really, other than it was dominated, unfortunately, by Nico Raskin. And I say unfortunately because this has become an absolute sideshow that it really did not mean to be. Russell Martin confirmed Nico Raskin will not be in the squad tomorrow. He didn't actually confirm why. He just said he won't be in the squad tomorrow, and said that he needs to earn the trust of the players and the staff on the pitch again, which completely unnecessary. I'm going to have a say, but I'm going to go to the panel first. Calvin, kick us off. What did you make of the Nico Raskin press comments from Russell Martin today?
I just think it's getting to the stage where what's the point in having these clear air chats, and does it resolve it? Like, if you're saying that we're going to have these chats after the national break and you'll come back into the squad, that surely everything's been buried at that stage. If you're still having an issue with other players in the squad, staff, what does that say? Like, is he just holding a grudge at this stage? And that's where I'm at. Like, I think he's just trying to prove a point with one of our top players that he's the man in charge. He's our best player. He needs to play. Everything ticks around him generally when we've had our best success in the last year. So he needs to just let it go. Like, if you're bringing this player back in, let it go, get him back into the team and let the team build, because now you're going to have to try and play players that aren't as good in his position, and then we're all going to moan if something goes wrong. At least take that kind of aspect out and just get him on the park.
I agree with Calvin. I think there was hope when there was talk that Raskin was happy to have a discussion, and it seemed like that was going to be both sides agreeing to this, and you'd hope that there would have been common ground struck and a peaceful resolution. But we've seen the Isak debate and conundrum at Newcastle, and decided to go, we'll just one up that. We're not going to sell the player, but we're going to keep him here and not play him. So strange one altogether. I mean, the most reliable source of information breaking that he must have leaked the team to Bruges, which 100% confirms the reason why Max Aarons got himself sent off. I mean, he was obviously told to do it from the manager, and then it's obviously been leaked across them. So yeah, it's obviously a lot more simple than we think it is, guys. Obviously it's obviously Nico, and it has to be because it came from WhatsApp, and that's obviously 100% truthful. So yeah, that's what I saw on it.
I think for a manager who is under pressure to get results, a manager who can say all he wants about the Old Firm game being a reset, he needs to get wins. And Nico Raskin's one of our best players. So I don't care what he's done and what Russell Martin's personal issues, maybe, with Nico Raskin. For me, he should be playing. And if he's not, then there should be a good reason given as to why he's not. Igerman, you can pretty clearly infer the reason behind him not, being featured in teams. He effectively refused to play. That's never been the indication given in terms of Nico Raskin. Russell Martin hasn't made that point. He hasn't said what the reason is, why he's out of the team, just that, hinting that he needs to earn his teammates' trust back. But there's no indication as to why, what Nico Raskin is meant to have done. I saw the standard WhatsApp rumors floating around today, and Nico Raskin could have told the Bruges manager our team and our tactics in advance. I don't think it would have had any influence on the result. Like, even if he did do that, there's no proof that he's done that. We've got his word versus the other person's word. It's a nonsense that it's been allowed to continue on this far. We were meant to get to the international break and the transfer window was going to slam shut, and then we could all reset and we could say, oh no, players who are here and they can concentrate on Rangers. That was meant to be the idea, right? And instead, we are still in a situation where one of our best players is not even on the bench, is completely out of the squad for a game that we need to win. And in the next little run of fixtures, it's one of the ones we should be looking to get a strong 3 points on the board. It provides that platform. At the moment, you're shooting yourself in the foot before we've even got to the game.
Sadly, that's it. Here's where I am with it all. This should never, ever have got to this stage. It should never even got to stage one. Deal with it in-house. Deal with it professionally. Same with the Hamza Igerman stuff. I said it at the time. It's a sideshow to distract away from things that are actually happening. We don't need this to be aired in public, and it has to stop. This constant need for drama every time there's a press conference. Stop it, please. All he needed to say today, in my humble opinion, and it would have stopped all this dead, is brilliant to have Nico Raskin back in the building. He's a young, fit, hungry player. He's back in training. He's not involved with the squad tomorrow, but and that is because he needs to play his way back in. Connor and Dio were excellent against Celtic, so they keep the jerseys, and that's the challenge for Nico Raskin. Dead in the water. Stops everything. That's it, done. Shoes now on Nico Raskin's foot. He needs to come out and play. He needs to get it done. To question or to throw it out there in a way that can then question Nico's character. We've then seen since, that was 9 o'clock this morning, since then I've seen 2 WhatsApps blaming Nico for team selection, blaming Nico for having an attitude problem, blaming Nico for apparently standing up and having a go at Martin, saying that Nico refused a transfer to Wolves, saying that he's been suspended by the club. I'll tell you right now, folks, all of that is 100% bollocks. It's absolute nonsense. It never happened. Nico is guilty of questioning the manager's tactics. The manager's told us that. He's guilty of not playing how the manager wants him to play in the specific role that he wants him to play on the park. Because Nico's very much, and everybody's seen this, he runs about, he wanders about, he has to go and win the ball. He's all in, he's 100%. And that means that when that happens, he gets caught out. And Russell Martin's commented on this before. He's talked about it quite a few times. And that's what he's referring to. But the way he words it, talking about earning trust and all that, just puts more questions out there. And people can then say, well, is Nico disruptive in the dressing room? Is Nico that? Did anyone watch the training video today? Because I see Nico Raskin laughing and joking and teammates all over him. So that's bollocks, and that's what it is. It needs to stop. Just end it. Get on with it. You're supposed to be the head coach. You're supposed to be one of our star players. So get together and sort it, because the only person that's losing, or the only thing that's losing here, is Rangers Football Club, because we've got all this sideshow continuing, and we've got an asset that's decreasing in value every time he's not been involved in the squad. And I'm sick, fed up of talking about this, because it's a sideshow that shouldn't be happening.
I think for me, the biggest frustration is that we've seen a good way of doing this season already from Russell Martin. He came out the team after the 1-1 draw against Motherwell. He was on the bench for that. and said it was in part of this group of players who needed to, buy into the program. Like Tav dropped out the same time as well. He was brought on as a substitute, showed a great attitude, and you say, okay, water under the bridge. To completely remove him, not just from the day team or even the squad on the day, to remove him entirely from Rangers, to say you can't come to the stadium for the Old Firm game, you can't come to the stadium, like you're not involved in the squad at all. That to me just speaks to a lack of management, because that's part of the job. Like you might want, I've played Football Manager. I know it's perfect because you can just, organize everyone and, they just do what you tell them to. Unfortunately, as people keep telling me, video games are not real life. So you have to deal with the human side of it. You have to embrace that element. You cannot, act as though these 11 players on the pitch and the other players in the squad are robots who will just follow instructions and are never going to talk back to you or express interest in your tactics or say, well, why do you want me to do that? That's part of management. It's about instructing your players in different ways. Some need an arm around the shoulder. Some need to be yelled at. If you can't adjust to that, if you can't just deal with that reality, because that is the reality, then you are not going to go too far in management if you're unable to cope with the idea that you need to talk to your players and you need to get them on side one way or another. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to last long.
Can I just say something as well? There's a lot of people saying about the stories about Nico Raskin being the one that's leaking teams and stuff like that. It's absolute rubbish. We were here when it was talking about James Tavernier, and I said the same thing and defended James Tavernier. This is not the players. It's already been identified. The club are aware of it. It's nothing to do with the players. Can we stop blaming Tav? Can we stop blaming Rabbi Matondo? God at Christ. Rabbi Matondo's been injured for about 4.5 years. He doesn't even know what the training ground at Ibrox looks like, never mind leaking the team. So can we all just take a break a wee bit and stop trying to pin blame and trying to be a reason for absolutely everything? The leaking of the team news and stuff like that is nothing to do with Nico Raskin, James Tavernier or anything. You'll notice that there's no rumours about this weekend either, if it was supposedly Nico being out the team and doing this and doing that. We need to just stop and take a breath. I'm getting a bit tetchy with all these pissy stories and WhatsApp blaming everybody for everything.
The football's become the sideshow, isn't it? It's no longer seems to be the main event. We seem to be a soap opera with a bit of football on the side, which is not at all how I was expecting this whole thing to go. I think I was thinking during the week there how far away from the joy and the positivity of when the takeover was completed, and you're thinking about the next steps and where we can go, and now we're now back in the trenches. It feels like there's no positivity. I'm talking in my work with the Rangers fan in there, and it's like, are you going to the game tomorrow? Aye, I'm okay. It's honestly it's taking the joy out of going to the game, supporting your club, because there's just so much going on besides the game that we want to watch. It's becoming a bit of a joke all in that 90 minutes in the park tomorrow is going to pale in comparison to what we've had to go through this week with stories and rumours and speculation about a player and how much he wants to beat the club, and a manager that likes him or doesn't like him. So it's gone well too far from what we're expecting to watch, which is football.
I was thinking the thing with Russell Martin, like in terms of his management, he's never been at a club where it demands to win, and that's what we all had that issue with at the start. At teams that win, you will get players that backchat. They will question what you're essentially doing, and that's when Barry's talked about it when he was in charge. Nico did go on a wee tangent sometimes, but once he explained to him, this is why we need you to do that role, it then worked in his favour. I'm getting that feeling that Russell Martin just ignores that side of it. It's just, if you can't do it, you're out. That shouldn't be the situation. You need to pick out the strengths in these players and work around that. And if he thinks he can do a slightly different role, you then bring that in and say, right, we know you can do that side of the game, but what we want from you is to do this, this, and this. And explain it to him. And when his performances are improving because of it, you'll see it from the player. But in winning teams, players will talk back to the manager. They will question why you want them to do something, especially when it's not going well. If Russell Martin was getting results, players wouldn't be chatting about everything. Right now, we're not getting the performances. They're getting outplayed by our teams in general across the board. That's the issue. And I think that's what he's struggling to deal with. He's not allowing the players to say, we think we should be doing this because this will give the team this. He just said, nah, if you don't like it, you're out. And he's just bombing players out. And you can probably see different players will get this the full season. But he's picked on pretty much our most essential key player to make this happen. And that's where the lack of understanding for him being at a big club is, in my opinion.
It's something we don't need. We should all be talking about on a Friday night. Right, Hearts tomorrow. Big game at Ibrox. 3 p.m. kickoff. Not a sellout. Hospitality isn't sold out again. And that tells, I think, volumes. It's Saturday at 3 o'clock at Ibrox against Hearts. We should absolutely be thriving and looking forward to that. We should all be sitting arguing about who the midfield's going to be. Are we going to play two up front? Russell Martin referenced again today that we might be changing shape. It was about the only interesting thing that actually came out of the press conference today, the possibility that we might be changing shape. Could we then go for two up front? We should all be sitting here actually looking forward to it and debating and saying, you know, let's hope tomorrow's the one that clicks. We all want Rangers to win. We all want Rangers to be positive. We all want to see attacking football, but we're going in every single conversation now before it is stuff that's not happening on the pitch. It's all off-field stuff, and we should genuinely be looking forward to our Hearts at Ibrox tomorrow, Hibs in the Cup. We should be looking forward to Genk, the start of the Europa League. We should be saying, right, this is Russell Martin's team. We're going to click in with 13 new players. What we're going to see, we've signed a £10 million striker. We should be looking forward to all that, and yet we're sitting here debating stuff, and I'm honestly a bit fed up of the off-field stuff, and I'm just struggling. As much as I'm looking forward to being at Ibrox and covering the game and everything else, I should be feeling differently. We should be discussing 4-4-2s, 4-3, 4-3-2-1s, or whatever the hell it is. You know, whatever we want to select, and are we going two up front and stuff like that? This stuff, I sounded like Barry there when he was trying to do his formation. This stuff, it just doesn't need to be happening, Andrew. You know.
I think for me, that's the biggest frustration, right? We had the international break and we've seen our players, Nico Raskin included, go away and have really fantastic things. Nico Raskin's got his first international goal for Belgium. That's fantastic. Derek Cornelius is pinging in free kicks, looking like, you know, prime James Tavernier. We've got a new £8 million striker as well. These are things that, you know, in theory, we should be excited about. And even before the press conference this morning, I was still, you know, ready to be hurt again. But instead, Russell Martin's brought that joy right away from me. Because that's the thing. I mean, we've talked before about this squad of players, and I think it is a good squad of players. You can question the tactics and how they're being set up, but I do think we've got exciting, stronger players in a lot of positions here. Chimetti's going to be a question mark until he can, you know, prove it. He's, you know, got a record that doesn't exactly inspire confidence, but Scottish League's a different beast. Some players thrive in it, some players don't. So I'm here and willing to give him the chance. But as you say, Stevie, instead we're dragged into this sideshow of, yeah, but it's still a manager, though, isn't it? Like, do you reckon he can do this? And you're right. Everyone on this pod, I mean, I'd like to think everyone watching, apart from, you know, the Celtic fans, hello, thank you. You're keeping the pod growing, so we appreciate that. Almost everyone watching wants Rangers to do well, wants Rangers to get a win this weekend. It's impressive in its own way that Russell Martin's really managed to unify the support. In that, I don't think there's anyone there who thinks this is the man for the job at the moment. There's only one way to disprove that, and that's by starting to get wins. And that starts tomorrow, Saturday at 3.
One of the things that, like, he talked about today, he wants to win games. Winning games involves having your best players on the park. And right now, we're missing one. Like, we've probably looked at the end of the window, people have left, people have come in. We're sitting there with a, not going to say an amazing squad, but a very strong squad in comparison to pretty much anything else in the league. We should be out there and dominating teams now. We should be scoring goals. We should be keeping clean sheets. We should be dominating possession. we need to start creating chances. We've now got width. We've got players that can make forward runs for midfield. We've got options up front. This should be an exciting time. And he needs to find that winning formula. And he probably needs to get into that aspect where it's not going to be so one-dimensional. So far, it's been very Mark Warburton, where it is just plan A, keep going. And then the only time to do better is when we chuck the tactics out the window and we chuck the kitchen sink at it. So he needs to find that winning formula. He needs to find the best players that suit the team and sometimes move away from his perfect philosophy, because we won't have that perfect philosophy. We're playing in Scotland. We've got a better team, but we're not going to have players that can play eye-cutting passes out from the back four every single time, especially when they're sitting against such a deep team. In the Premier League and that, he had teams coming at him. It's not going to happen that much. He needs to think about something different. He needs to find the best way of getting the players we have to get 3 points every single week.
I think I'm trying my best to look forward to every game that we play, because I'm a Rangers supporter, and you want to make the journey to Ibrox. You want to get involved with the atmosphere, support your team, watch some good football. And it's difficult to get back into that headspace, because you're sitting there for no less than like a minute and you go, oh, what do you think about X? What do you think about Y? What do you think about Z? And it's like debate. I only think, as you said, I want us to be going, do you play Chimetti? Do you play Miovski? You get a striker there who's scored goals at Aberdeen. You brought him in. Good, that's good. You get Danilo still, 6 million, but you still get that price tag up. And then you've just spent big on another striker to replace Hamza. Then obviously Dessers moving on. You're gonna have a new look strike force essentially, with these new guys needing to bed in. How are they going to take to the Scottish game? You know, you've got positive midfield performances with Dio and Barron in the Old Firm. That's positive. You get the big Canadian, big sexy, with a banging free kick. I really liked his press conference. I think he spoke really well. I think he could be somebody that could make an impact in our jersey, and yet we're still. I mean, we're 20 odd minutes now, and now we're talking about the game tomorrow. I just want to talk about the football, man.
Let's talk about the football. Who are we looking forward to seeing tomorrow, guys? I will say one thing. I am excited to see Chermiti. I know there's been a lot of doubt over him, but we've spent big money on this guy, and I don't expect him to be, prime and up to date quickly. I want to see something. I want to hopefully see something. I want to see Miovski. I really want to see Miovski. I thought Miovski looked decent in the Old Firm match, but he never really had much feed. Can we create chances? Can we get balls in the box? Can we play two up front? Can the wingers? I want to see more from the wingers domestically. I think Gassama's been great. I'm looking forward to seeing him again. I want to see more from Ant-Man, but Gassama and domestically, I think has to be better. But there's so many options going forward now. Like, we do actually have that. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Cornelius might start at the back. What does he then do with the back line? Giga, Suter, where are we going to be? So there's a lot of intrigue for me about how we're going to set up and what players are going to play. But attacking wise, we've got a plethora of options now, much more than we've had for several years. You probably have to go back to Roof, Defoe, Morelos, Itten, etc. to have the kind of options we have. I'm not saying they're the same quality, but in terms of option wise and hope around what they might bring, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow.
I'd really like to see the defence continuing to keep clean sheets. I think Cornelius can be a really good addition there. He looks like he's got the experience, he's got the physicality, which all of the defenders that we've signed so far have had. And I would like to think that clean sheet run can continue, from the one game that we managed to keep one. And like you say, Stevie, we do have these good attacking players. I want to see signs that they're starting to click together and starting to work well together. I'd really like to see a strong midfield as well, but we may not see the strongest possible one. But nonetheless, we've got options there. We've got players. I mean, we've always talked about Danilo as being someone who's better when he's got someone who can feed off of. If we do go with two up top, does Danilo work as that, second striker almost? But Miovski and Chermiti are both, interesting prospects in their own ways. Chermiti because of the potential that we don't yet know if we're going to see. But Miovski, because he's an experienced goal scorer in this league, he knows what it takes to get goals in the Scottish Premiership. So it's all exciting. I mean, there's stuff to be excited about, truly, despite what we seem like. But we need to start seeing it happening. We need to start seeing these players click together on the pitch, and we haven't seen enough of that so far. Keeping the defence strong was a positive at the Old Firm, but if it comes at the cost of creating 0.13 chances, it's not exactly going to be an exciting brand of football going forward for the rest of the season. So ideally, you want to combine that keeping a clean sheet with maybe looking like you're going to have 1 or 2 or even 3 attempts on target at goal, and giving us something to get excited about, because that's what it comes down to. The fans are not going to be sitting in the stands waiting for a reason to boo. They're going to be sitting there wanting to cheer on their team. It's up to the team and the management who are coaching them to give them a reason to do so.
I would say we're already starting behind 8 ball, because I think one of our favourites from last season against Hearts, Jamie McCarthy, I think he's still injured, so there might not be any own goals this time. Unfortunately, I was waiting for you to hit your video there, Andrew. I don't know if since we're getting the confused, I don't know if we get demonetised and we're still in free use with that. I couldn't tell you. I just completely neglected the fact that it was Hearts and he's still there. But big test tomorrow. Premiership Manager of the Month, Derek McInnes. How's it going to go? The battle between Big Dell and Russell Martin.
I think the opportunity tomorrow is it's against probably your next best team in the league. So we'll see how it goes. I think the formation that we played against Celtic's probably where we might go again, just because it is one of the more testing teams in the league. The back four, you've got obviously Butland and goals. We all want to see Tav continue at right back over Arns, don't we? I think that's the biggest thing. He needs to continue in there. The right centre half position, will it be Suter, will it be Giga? Probably a toss at a coin. We'll see it goes Cornelius. We're all expecting to come in and play left centre half, Migoma at left back. The midfield 12 will be interesting. We all want Raskin back in, but it's likely going to probably be Barn and Diamande continuing there. Right hand side, who's going to be on the right hand side? Will it be Antman? Will it be Moore? Is he going to keep Gassama over there? Gassama played his best football for the left, so it'll be interesting to keep him there. 10 Asgard after his 4 goals during the week, probably in there. And I think he'll continue with Miovski up top. I think he's already played 70 minutes for us. He's going to continue in there, and then Chermiti will come on later in the half. That's how I would see the team lining up tomorrow.
For everybody asking what the hell was that just appeared on their screen, that was Jamie McCart, wasn't it? And he scored 2 own goals, if I remember correctly, at Tynecastle last season against Rangers when we needed it. And Andrew on the podcast that day chucked that up to cheer us all up. So, yeah, I don't control these. I can't do these things. So
I've done a lot of editing work for the podcast. I've cut together video intros, trailers for the channels, and a fantastic Jock Wallace documentary that everyone should go and check out if you're a member of the podcast. That's the favourite video I've ever made for this podcast.
See, to be honest though, I would take a Jamie McCart own goal or 2 tomorrow if he's playing. Yeah, look, I think tomorrow overall, see, regardless of who's playing and what happens, all we really want to see is the Rangers win. And that, first and foremost, is a priority. But I'd like to see a wee bit of hope in the performance. I don't need them to turn up, and I've said this countless times, and I'm sorry if it's repeating, I don't need them to turn up looking like, prime Barcelona or whatever. I just want to see a wee bit of hope, a wee bit of something we can go, right, this is the stuff Russell Martin's been talking about. So we saw glimpses of it today, a nice result. We can take that on to a full week of training, into a Hibs game in the Cup at Ibrox, which is a really important game. That is all I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm not demanding big performances and 5-0 wins and everything else. Just give me a win and give me a little bit of hope that we can all get behind. And Ibrox has got a wee bit of a feel-good factor when the whistle's blown at 90 minutes and we're all leaving. Let's Let's get a wee bit of that, please, Rangers. Is it too much to ask for, lads? Surely not.
It's the bare minimum, isn't it?
A win rather than a draw? I mean, that sounds pretty good. We've only had that 3 times so far this season out of 11 games. So that'd be really nice to talk about a win come Monday, if I bother to turn up on the Monday podcast, which I rarely do. But we haven't had that opportunity too many times this season. So honestly, I'd love some free-flowing football. I'd love some amazing attacking moves. I'd love a clean sheet as well. I'd just take a win, though. It's what it's all about.
I'm just looking at our table. I wanted to refresh my mind, and the 0 wins, 4 draws, 0 losses, 3 goals for, 3 goals against, with a goal difference of nil point is unforgivable in my opinion. How can you not have a win in your first 4? It's annoying because every time I press my football back for football, it always comes straight up to Rangers. But then if you scroll down ever so slightly, it tells you the manager's win percentage, and it still get Russell Martin on 0, which annoys me. 63% Philip Coulon, 45% Barry Ferguson, 0 Russell Martin. That needs to change. It needs to change very fast, or else.
Well, that cheered us all up, Andrew. Thanks very much for that. That's perfect. 0%.
It's about realistic. This is the real stuff, Stevie. We don't beat around the bush here. That's fact. It's cold hard facts.
Well, I've heard you say that Rabi Matondo's a really good player and
It's
our
fact.
best winger in that. So I'm
It's
not sure
fact.
I'm not sure we do deal in fact as much as we probably should. What was I can't even remember what I was about to say now. Quick, somebody else come in because I've forgotten.
I'll add it up for Rafa Benitez and his facts there. So let's go with it's 3 points a must. The best thing we can look at it right now is the league isn't far away because of how poor pretty much every other team's been. Like, we've yet to see them pull away. We're undefeated. What to do? 3 points a must. Get the 3 points. Start the win train. That's what needs to happen now. It just needs to be win, 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 win. There's no time for any more slip-ups for him. Like, he needs to catch up very, very quickly before all teams do start getting themselves a wee bit together. And that's all that matters. Take 3 points a day. Start closing in gaps. Start keeping these clean sheets and start scoring goals. The goals is the big issue. There's no chances. There's very little goals. We need to score goals and quick.
What I was going to say, Calvin, is, and we can just stick with you for starting it, in these domestic games so far, and there has been 4, we've not looked like a dominant team or a team that's actually going to win these games at any point. Even you look back to Motherwell, Dundee, St Mirren, Celtic, all these games, we never dominated at any point. We never completely pressurised. We never got shots in. We never done anything like that. It has to... it's not just asking for a win tomorrow, but all these things and components need to flip. We need to hope that 2 weeks of training, although there was some boys away in international, that we've actually got some good time on the pitch. Things have been fairly quiet from the club. I'm hoping that, aside of obviously the last couple of days, but like training stuff and everything else, I'm hoping they've just got their head down, concentrated, got a lot of information in there to the players, and it I'm not asking it to click, but it looks like we're all starting to go in that direction, because we have to get in a position where nobody expects them to be ultra dominant or everything else and for it to be wonderful, but we have to be in a situation where we can use it as potential going forward.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we want to see teams having to make decisions against us, because all we've done so far is pass, shoehorn. Team sits in, nothing really happens. We want to see like the training drills that we seen at the start of the year. The ball was moving out the feet. It was getting passed forward quickly. Players were running at men. They were getting shots off. Like, we've yet to see any of these things come into place in an actual game of football yet. We all watched the pre-season videos and went, they're attacking, they're aggressive, they're running, they're getting shots off, they're taking on men. Even defensively, they were getting in big tackles. We've not seen that. Like, we've just seen just the usual dull, boring football for them so far. I want to see all these things that we've seen implemented in the pre-season content getting into the park. We want to see chances getting made. We want to see wingers taking men on. We want to see shots from the edge of the box. How many times have we just seen the ball getting to the edge of the box? Right, turn back, go again. taking these chances at the edge then creates spaces for people in the box or teams need to come out and press you. We're happy just to keep the ball again. So that's what I want to see. I want to see just a bit more dominating front foot football, what we've been sold for the get-go since Martin came in.
I like that actually, Andrew, asking teams to make decisions. We've not done that. And Calvin's right. I think that's a very good phrase. Challenge them, see what they're made of.
We've got to start seeing evidence that this, like, these patterns of play are actually being developed. We haven't seen any of that yet, realistically. GT, you don't understand how much you've just made Stevie's evening. He was asking all of us about his top before we even came on because he was really concerned about it. Like, Stevie just wants to talk about the fact that he's down to a medium. Very good. Very impressive. We're all very happy for you. For me, I want to see these promising signs, and I haven't seen any of them so far from Russell Martin team, apart from managing to keep a clean sheet against the old firm. So, yeah, it's all I'm looking for. I want something to hope for. I want something to cling on to. I want something to bring me as much joy as Stevie getting a medium jumper.
I have lost 4 stone, and I will never tire of telling anybody that, Andrew. I know it annoys you because I update you hourly on my progress, but that was a wonderful, wonderful moment. I lost it slightly there. Sorry, Andrew Stewart. Carry on, mate. Whew. Medium, 4 stone lost. Medium.
I think we need to get Stevie doing that Thor's Hammer challenge, Calvin. I don't know about you, man. Get him on the TikTok. And, you know, you spoke a big game. You need to prove that the gains are there. But yeah, again, completely derailed any train of thought. I did spot that coming in, and I just went, I'll see how long it takes. And before I even finished that thought in my head, it was already highlighted on the screen. So, you know, it is probably a mixture of both Rangers and a calorie deficit or something like that. You know, if only we could have as an effective strike force as you have an effective diet, Stevie. I don't know. There you go. There's your hook line for the night. But I've gone off the rails again, lads.
It's been a nonsense. Look, Ibrox tomorrow. Myself and Davey Herd are there. Gentlemen, 3 points up the road. Positive look ahead of Hibs. Back on Monday night for the podcast. It really shouldn't be too difficult. I think we've even got Thistle on. Is it Thistle tonight on the old Championship? Ipswich are 8 o'clock. So football to watch, boys. But thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate it. Calvin, made it through a whole podcast awake, mate. Congrats.
It wasn't easy. It was touch and go up to kickoff, but we've made it. Thanks for having me back on. Refreshed after the holidays. But unfortunately, I'm away again next week for one of my mates' stag do's, so I'll be enjoying you for Portugal.
Andrew Stewart, mate, as ever, I think I've had about 1 million comments asking what top you're wearing. So please put everybody out their misery, and thanks for joining.
Belgium away top with 21 Raskin. I've got a 6 Raskin home top, and just in case you were wondering what side I was on, I'm actually on the fence. I'm not picking side, lads.
Well, you can get away with it because you're only young. Us old folk don't get people's names in the back of their top, but you're like 22 or something. So you can get that, can't you?
I'll take 22. I'm 23, but you know.
Christ, I'm sorry for being so out, mate.
Close there, Stevie. Close there. Yeah, I was kind of just happy to see Calvin not in the sun lounger like I seen on my Facebook when I opened it this morning. He looked in a rough state, similar to me in Germany last weekend. But yeah, it was happy to be back discussing my beloved Rangers with you lads, and yeah, roll on the Mora, and we'll turn over Dale Boys Jam Tarts and be straight on the road to 56.
Said with such enthusiastic conviction. Absolutely loves it. Editor Andrew, as ever, what a pleasure to have you on. Were you recording last night? Tell the folks what's available on the channel. I've just put up the Kamara Roof journal competition for the members, which I'll flash because it's here now. There's 3 of these to give away. It's one of Kamara's 2 half football journals that he's doing now. It's like a diary for young aspiring football players or even older aspiring football players, whatever, signed by Kamara Roof. as well. He was on the podcast with Derek. So I've just put that up. So if you're a YouTube member, just go and stick your details down and we'll enter you into the competition. You don't need to answer questions or anything. So go and do that and enter the comp. And there's also the score competition for Hearts at home to win some Black Rooster Scran, which nobody has won yet because Rangers, let's face it, have been shite, and nobody has been able to predict a score properly yet, which has been unfortunate. Great for Black Rooster, but not for us and our members. But Andrew, aside of that, what's for members to try and watch and enjoy, and what's happening on the channel? You tell us.
So last night, Davey Hurd recorded another edition of his First and Favourites with another one of our members, which was very good. Davey managed to get the guy's name wrong when he sent it to me, so I had to apologise to the guy when he joined and quickly correct the title of the video before we started recording. But nonetheless, it's we've got that. We have an interview with John Wallace, Jock Wallace's son, that went up along with the lovely documentary that that Davey did most of the work for. I just sort of put a bit of tape on it and glued it together.
I love the fact that I was in that chat about that documentary and contributed absolutely nothing other than saying, yeah, that was a good idea. Go for it, Davey.
I think I asked you about 3 times to watch it and didn't even get like a thumbs up or anything. It was good. Thanks,
Busy
boss.
man, yeah. Busy man. I've actually got a job now which requires me to do work. So
ridiculous. But nonetheless, reactions to that's been hugely positive. Thanks to everyone who's watched it. If you're not a member, we encourage you to become a member, obviously. But if not, then I believe we'll put it out for general audiences about a month's time or so. But if you can't wait, if you simply cannot wait, then we strongly encourage you to become a member, because you also get all of the streams and podcasts that we do ad-free. Who wouldn't want that? Ad blocks doesn't exist.
Stickers, Andrew. Stickers.
I mean, Stevie keeps telling me that I shouldn't do this because it annoys him specifically. So I'm only going to briefly mention that if you are a member, you get to use some lovely stickers, like this lovely one of Andrew or this lovely one of Calvin.
I want Calvin's updated to him on that Sun Lounger that I seen on Facebook this morning.
I was just like, was not going to pop up at that stage. I was like, please.
If only I'd put the effort in. Oh, well, we do what we can. You can also get Stevie as well. I mean, that one's a little outdated. That's about 20 stone ago or something like that. But it's nonetheless still one of my very favourite ones because it's just so teeny say Stevie. So, you get to use those as well. And that's always fun. It's fun for me, at least. So, do what you can. But, I mean, there's loads of great benefits to being members. The stickers are just a nice, extra bonus. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. Thanks, Stevie. You're meant to be hosting this thing. You carry on.
Thank you, folks, for watching. Thank you to our sponsors, Rhino Express, Clive Rejoinery, Athol Industrial Solutions, CSD Air Conditioning, all the team from all our sponsors that make it possible for what we do, and you, all our viewers and YouTube members. We tried to make it fun tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. It really helps us grow. It is free, and we would love you to do that. We're well over 10,000 subs, which is incredible, and we really appreciate all your support. Go and have a smashing Friday night. There is some football on as well if you want to watch it. It is who's on tonight, I will tell you. It's Ipswich and Sheffield United at 8 o'clock, but if you want some Scottish Championship football, it's Thistle versus Airdrie. I quite like the Championship stuff. Sometimes it can be decent, but every time I come on here and do a Friday night pod and tell people to watch it, it's absolutely dog shit. Maybe I'm the problem with watching football. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow in the gantry. Please join me and Davey from the Matchday vlog, and we'll be back on Monday night for the live show. Have a good weekend, folks. Take care. Thanks for all your support. Catch you all again.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.